Happy Friday, everybody. Even though we didn't get to hear the high-pitched Swedish voice in that song, but that's fine. We'll talk about that later.
Sorry.
Maybe in the outro.
In the outro is coming. What's up, everyone? Welcome. Happy Friday. We got some people joining us, at least. Let's get some more people in here, because this is going to be a good one. I will send it out. I pinned the spaces above if anyone want to help us as well. Happy Friday, yes. I just had a double espresso. So I'm ready to go.
Oh boy.
It's 8 p.m. and time for a double espresso. This is what the Swedish SWAT team drinks when they stay up all night.
Do you make it or do you go for it?
My coffee machine made me. How are you doing, TK?
I'm good. I'm out on a walk right now, touching grass. Excited to learn about some Cardano. It's been an interesting week since Solana wanted to talk, and we've reached out to all the other blockchains. It's been quite exciting. I'm ready to beat exit liquidity on another blockchain today. What about you, my man?
Good. Very good. Welcome, Cardman, as well. How are you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me.
We're ready to tell us everything about ADA and CNFTs. I guess you're born and raised in CNFTs, but for us, it's something new.
Yeah, I'm excited to share a bit. I've been in Solana quite a bit as well, so I think that I'll be able to find a way to kind of relate what's going on there to what's going on in Solana.
It's awesome. You can convert us.
Yep.
It's awesome. What do you say, guys? John and Bill as well on stage. How are you doing, guys?
Happy to be here, mate.
Yeah, doing great, man. Doing great. Yeah, I thought maybe bring in the project account from the Ape Society. That would probably rile some people up. Is that possible, or maybe not?
I just the person that runs our account, I don't think they're here right now, but I just retweeted it from my account, so some apes should come in.
Cool.
The apes. I've seen these. I've seen the apes. You guys are pretty. You have a wild community, dude. I've seen them on tweets, and like I think for sure the first project we see when we go on Cardano. That's right.
Yeah, we've been rolling pretty hard on. Yeah, so hopefully our brand is going up a bit.
Let's go. All right, guys. Let's start it. We got some people joining us and more to come. Welcome, everyone, to this wonderful thing that we call the pod. It's a lovely Friday, at least here. Hope you're having a good Friday so far as well. 77th episode. Almost at 100, but not quite yet. We got something big planned for that. Yeah, I remember a few months ago, before we came here and took over the space, these influencers told us, Solana degens, that if anything were to happen to Solana and Solana dies, you could trade on NEAR, you could trade on ETH, and you could trade on Algo, but heck, don't you dare trade on Cardano. It's a forbidden place for the Solana degens. Today we're here talking Cardano on the pod, so it's a big day, and I'm stoked. And we have seen a lot of, especially Solana, I don't know about the ETH people, have been trading on Cardano lately. I think it was like weeks ago. I went on jpg.store. I think that is the biggest one, right? And the first thing I saw was the Ape Society sitting at 10K ADA at the time. I question now it's about the price right now, 20 million ADA volume, which is pretty nuts. So super excited. We're here with the Ape Society and the biggest and the baddest of them all, Cardman, the founder. So welcome, Cardman. How are you doing? It's lovely.
Thanks. Enjoying this Friday. Enjoying Cardano NFTs. I think a lot of people have a somewhat of a negative impression, but we're trying to change that a bit and, just get all the blockchains together, get everybody working together.
That's the way. So where do we start it? I want to start with asking you. You said you came from Solana, right? So tell me a little bit about you, Cardman, and how you got into ADA. Why ADA, right?
Yeah, and I wouldn't say I came from Solana. It's just the three of us. We're on all blockchains. We started off on all blockchains. We're not any sort of individual blockchain maxi. So like we traded NFTs on ETH, Solana, Near, like everything. And we also originally came from trading tokens, not NFTs. So we've been around crypto for a little while. And like we just saw things developing on the various blockchains. And when we decided to start our project late last year, we minted this January. But we wanted to be in an ecosystem where we could kind of help kind of set the culture and do something new. And we thought that the way that we wanted to structure our project, from the decentralization aspects of our DAO to the kind of sophistication of our art, we thought that Cardano was a perfect fit for the culture that we were trying to create. And I think it's turned out to be the case, as we have like a really, really like kind of mature and hardworking community that is doing stuff and building just like we are. And over the last few months, and then as we move forward, we're going to continue to like kind of build the ecosystem on Cardano together, and it's pretty exciting.
Perfect. I'm gonna post a vote so we can see we got some people joining us. I want to know, especially from our community, if you have any Cardano NFTs. I'm gonna pin it up top and we can vote. I have two myself. That we actually had a Cardano caller for like 2 days in our Discord. So she managed to get me to buy two of her NFTs. That's as far as it goes. But I'm happy to hopefully get in more after this. If we
Nice.
were to break it down, for anyone listening, we're also recording this, and it's going to be on streaming platforms. So if anyone's listening to this and just hearing ADA, Cardano, CNFTs, let's focus on the chain, Cardano and ADA. What is ADA and Cardano?
So Cardano is a blockchain. It's in the top 10 on CoinMarketCap. So I'm sure you've seen it or heard of it in some way. It has a huge number of participants. It has a slightly higher market cap than Solana, but it's still behind like the big Ethereum and BNB. It has an extremely passionate community. It's kind of focused on, one of the heavy focuses is on decentralization, and the fact that the tokens and the tokenomics are set up so that the bulk of the power is in the community. So that's kind of the ethos there. And it's, if you're coming from another chain, it's not as dissimilar as you might think. If you're trying to buy NFTs, you go to the marketplace, you buy the NFT, and then you're good to go. So if you're coming to buy NFTs, it's going to be a huge difference in terms of that process. But I think you'll get a different types of projects, especially from the bigger projects on there, than you'll see on other chains. I think our projects are kind of pushing the envelope in different ways, whether it be kind of interacting with general culture or the kinds of things that people are building. So I think it's an opportunity to kind of diversify your portfolio. And there was a recent run up in Cardano NFTs, kind of led by us in a way, I guess. But like if you look at to see kind of why, it's because we're kind of on a different timeline than a lot of the other chains, and we're kind of building our own stuff. So it's like when we do launch and we do push our features forward, they're going to operate independently of the other NFT markets. It's not going to just pump when a certain market is pumping or not. So if you pay attention, you are trying to maybe make some money on NFTs or whatever you're trying to do, you don't have to necessarily think, oh, Solana NFTs are pumping, oh, ETH NFTs are pumping. That's what's going to happen. So yeah, I think there's a lot there.
You have a very, very strong community, both in the apes, but in Cardano as well. I've been seeing them everywhere lately. We see it only in the spaces. We got all the apes pulling up. Welcome, guys. Happy to have you with us. Cardman here is going to tell us everything about the apes and everything about ADA and CNFTs. TK, did you have a question? I saw you unmute.
Oh yes. Why is there the bad stigma on ADA, or is it just a joke? Like, where did that come from? Like, I don't understand. I mean, I know all blockchains mess with each other, but why did ADA get the short end of the stick there?
Well, I think that like in terms of certain developments, a few things were a little bit slower than other chains, so it took a little bit more time to get smart contracts and certain things working. So I think a lot of people at some point maybe tried it out or looked at it and didn't have necessarily the best experience when they first tried, and that kind of gave some people a bad taste in their mouth. And then, of course, there's people on Twitter fighting back and forth. So I think for some time, the general community had a negative perception, whether it be kind of mid last year, kind of, I guess, was the worst of it. But I think now when people come back, it works a lot better. Things are a lot better. So I think that's been resolved to quite a bit. And, our community, I think, has played a role in it. And there's other communities doing the same where we're trying to reach out to other people, do stuff like this, not just fight. And then people realize, this is just some code on the internet. It's nothing to be personal about. Just try it out and see what you think. And if you don't like it, it doesn't have to be negative. And I think that we're getting to that point where we can just be another chain on the community, and people can judge the chain based on the projects on it and what's going on.
Right. And when you said the worst of it, what was the worst of it for Cardano? Because I know like the worst for ETH was the hack, and then that's what made Ethereum classic. I know for Solana, it decides to turn off every once in a while and take a nap and go touch grass. What was the worst part for Cardano?
So the worst part was the smart contract launch and the launch of the first DEX. So like, because of they hadn't like kind of fully solved everything, and the scaling wasn't where it should have been at the time. Like, people came on and the transactions took like an unbelievable amount of time to do. And there was a lot of bad press around that. People were saying like it could take days for a transaction to go through and stuff like that because the thing wasn't properly prepared for launch. So, it was kind of a funny thing to a lot of people when they were used to just trading on a DEX and they get their stuff immediately. But, that's how it is now. So I think that bad press kind of just messed it up. And that was after like a price run up all the way to $3. So I think people were quite disappointed.
I wonder if that is when I first got in, because I remember my transaction took a lot of time, not days, but I hope it's faster now. I bet it's faster now. You guys
Yeah,
have some volume.
yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot faster now. It's a lot faster now. So it's just like it feels pretty much normal now.
So let's get into the user stuff here. If me and TK here wanna go buy some C, and I have a wallet called Nami. Is that the best one?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's a bad one. It's becoming less popular a bit. Wallet. And then if you download, hello.
Yeah, I think
Fair
you
enough.
cut it out there for a
Oh,
second.
sorry. Somebody called another line. But yeah, so if you do it's Typhon and Eternal are kind of the best performing wallets at the moment, but Nami also works. And then if you go to jpeg.store, that's our main marketplace right now. There's another marketplace called Flipper launching very soon that I think will also be a primary marketplace. And yeah, so it's pretty simple and straightforward. You just click on the projects you like and buy them.
And so is Flipper? You said they are not launched yet. Do you think it's gonna be bigger than JPG?
I mean, I don't know if they're going to be bigger or not, but I think they're certainly going to be a worthwhile competitor. So I think there'll be two places where people can go.
I tried checking on both, I think, Aptos and Solana when I've been on the marketplace, so we can see the volume, the 24-hour volume. I tried to, I like to compare stuff, so I tried to check the 24-hour volume on C NFTs, but I couldn't really find it on JPG. Do you know roughly what it uses nowadays after all the pump?
Yeah, so right now, the best place to find volume is OpenCNFT.io. And the current 24-hour volume is 2 million ADA, which is like a little bit less than a million USD. 2.1 million ADA. Yeah.
Oh,
So it's not bad.
it's not bad. I'm curious how that. Yeah, the token, especially the token, is really big. I don't know if NFT. Do you think one day that, and if like we had the H bar guys this Wednesday, right? And they were kind of convinced that it was going to be the bigger player and the optimal chain for NFTs. Do you have the same feeling for Cardano? Like it's going to be even competing with the biggest, the baddest ETH?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. We have a lot of projects doing great things, and I think ETH for a while will be ahead of everything. Just to be honest, I know people are very proud of their chain, and HBAR is doing some great things, but it's like it's not going to be overnight. You all of a sudden become bigger than ETH, but I think that Cardano has everything it needs to continue to grow, and I think people underestimate the significance of the decentralization aspect over time. And what that does is that it allows people to kind of have projects that are built up from the ground up, empowered by the community, and aren't reliant completely on external funding or venture capital funding in order to succeed. But at the end of the day, a blockchain is only as strong as the projects on it. And like if you look at Solana right now, like people are upset because of the royalties and this and that, but you know it's truly being led by DGods, Blocksmith, SMP. So once those projects start delivering things people want, it'll push the rest of the ecosystem. And for us in Cardano, it's like Ape Society, Clay Nation, and some other projects. And if those projects are doing good stuff, it'll push the system. So it's really about what are the individual projects doing on the chain. And if you have a project that's kind of pushing the limits, it's going to motivate other prospective project founders to come and do their stuff on the chain.
One thing I guess, a little bit worried about getting into Cardano. I'm going to set up a new wallet here, apart from Nami, and check some Cardano projects. One thing I'm worried about is that we've already had the 0% royalties on Solana, right? People started looking for other stuff. In your opinion, are we high in the top, or do you think it will go down or up from here?
I don't think you're buying the top if you come into Cardano now. I mean, our project itself ran up to 15K ADA and cooled down a little bit. We're around 10K right now. And there's a lot of other projects on the chain that I think are undervalued. I think there's going to be I don't want to give any financial advice, but I could easily see another big pump coming, and I still think there's a lot of undervalued items. But in general, I think if you just do your research and see where different projects that you'll be able to see what pumped organically or inorganically. And at the same time, with the recent pump, there's a misconception that it's like a ton of new money from like ETH and Solana came in to pump the projects, but most of our buyers are still people from ADA, and we did get new people in, but it's not like anybody's exit liquidity or anything like that. We're not nearly at that point.
One guy, we were sat in his spaces, I think it was 2 weeks ago. We sat in the spaces, and one guy said, guys, when the royalty thing happened, he said, guys, we're taking profit here and we're going to buy Cardano. And unfortunately, I didn't follow through. I said I was going to do it, but I didn't. But this guy followed through, and I know he had been making a bank, and he's with us now. That's Tony. How are you doing, Tony?
Yo, yeah, man. I jumped to Cardano at 0.34. You know what it is. So, like, I wanna, bro. I'm not a maxi for Cardano, but like, I wanna jump on Adam. Adam said, "Is this the top?" Well, you're hedging on two things when you're jumping into Cardano. When you're jumping into any blockchain, the underlying asset and the actual NFT project itself. Worst case scenario, Ape Society goes to 4,000 ADA, and then ADA runs up to 0.7, 0.8. Have you really lost? No, because the dollar value has actually gone up, despite the fact that the ADA value has gone down. So that's a good hedge. I tried to run a FUD train on these ADA Ape Society guys, just a small one, and none of them took the bait. None of them took the bait. I just posted some normal shit posting like, "Oh, price is tanking, 12K, bye bye," and nobody took the bait. These guys replied saying, "This is a long-term play. This is long-term." I said, "Oh shit, why are they so mature?" If I put that on this Solana project, I'll be getting woof, the replies will be mean. So I'm pumped up. I'm glad that Cardman and Story here to do. I want to see Congo as well, man. Congo's not joining us today.
No, I don't think Congo's around right now, but thank you for that. I appreciate those comments.
I know that you're trying to run a fund train. That's awesome. That's awesome. Now we're gonna dive in. We're talking some ADA in general here. I want to dive into the apes, of course, as well, since you're here with us. Cardman, are you the I guess this is a rough question, but in your opinion, are you the biggest project on Cardano?
Yeah, I think we are. I think we are.
That's awesome. That's what I think as well. When I just went on JDET, I've seen you guys. You're for sure the biggest community, or because when I see CNFTs, I see the apes, and really, really good art. Honestly, it is outstanding. So tell me a little bit about the apes you had. I went on the website and then in Discord I checked out. You have the cabins, the token. Yeah, I want to know it all.
Yeah, so I guess I'll try to keep it brief, but we minted in at the end of January, so it's been about 9 months or so. We have kind of a few different aspects of our project. The first kind of introductory aspect is that, and this kind of sets the tone for the whole project, is that our apes are split into families and classes. So there's 35 families and 7 classes. And if you look at each individual ape, they have a first and a last name. Instead of being like Ape Society number 627, they'll have names like Agathon de Medici or Thorpe Brown, or stuff like that. And basically, it places them into a family. And each of these families are going to be in a class. So you have craftsmen, you have artists, you have royal advisors, nobles, military officers, etc. And basically, that kind of set the tone for the project, and it allows our community to kind of have an identity behind it, the ape that they own. And in addition, we kind of have two kind of parts. So we have the DAO, and 20% of our royalties go to the DAO. And right now, the DAO has about 240,000 ADA to play with, and they're doing kind of a ton of initiatives, including advocating for decentralization on the chain through like stake pool stuff. They're doing a apprenticeship program that's going to be teaching people how to code on the chain. They're creating a project called the Amphitheater. They're just doing a ton of different initiatives separately from the team. So that's kind of that aspect. And then in the summer, or right before the summer, we minted cabins, and cabins are kind of the beginning of our ecosystem, our kind of DeFi ecosystem, which is paired with our society token. And society token is one of the most traded tokens on the Cardano blockchain. And essentially, it's going to be the ticket to everything we're doing. So cabins are going to involve 2 aspects. And the first is it allows you to stake your Ape NFTs or other NFTs that we partner with, which is a majority of NFTs on the chain. And basically, you use some society, you buy a frame, and it allows you to stake in a cabin, and then you get society back over time. And that's kind of the distribution model for society. The cabins will also be in time a kind of 3D environment that you can go in and display your NFTs and do some other things that we haven't fully disclosed. But that's going to be kind of a 3D representation of your NFT collection. And then in addition, what we're extremely excited about is our landmarks. And that's going to provide the actual utility for the society token so that it's not just a Ponzi where people are just getting a bunch of society token and it's just like the last man standing. But what each of our 11 landmarks will be a kind of DeFi-esque project. The first landmark is going to be something we're calling Bedford Trading Company, and that's going to allow people to make predictions on the price of crypto, of cryptocurrencies like ADA on a daily basis. And essentially, we're going to take some certain fees, society fees from that ecosystem, and that's going to be burned. So that's like one utility. And then we have 10 more landmarks coming up. And our second landmark reveal is pretty soon. So watch out for that. We're really excited for that one. But it's going to be continuous utility for 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 our society token, and it kind of brings the whole ecosystem together where you have Ape Society and cabins. And yeah, so I don't know if that was the best explanation, but that's kind of what we have going on.
That was a perfect explanation and a good brief. You guys have any questions for Cardman or anything you want to share with us? As I said, we are coming from Solana, just now getting into CNFTs, and then we have Cardman with us to help us. What do you think makes you you have had obviously a lot of success. I don't know the exact mint price, but what do you think makes you the biggest ADA project?
Well, I mean, for people that depends on where you come from, but like, we minted at 99 ADA, and right now we're at, last time I checked, 9,999 ADA. So we had 100x right there in ADA. That's just our floor. We get the biggest sales in the community. I think we have the strongest community on the chain. I think we have one of the strongest communities on any chain. Like if you go on our Discord, people are like chatting nonstop, like literally nonstop. I don't think I've seen another Discord like that. And people are building. People have created their own brands. We have one person that sold 2,000 copies of a book that they wrote a couple weeks ago. So like people are creating businesses. People are identifying with their families, working together. There's just so many layers, and like I think at this point, and I don't know if everybody's realized it yet, but like we've kind of pivoted away from just being an NFT project, and instead are kind of a decentralized business in a way that kind of is ready to kind of tackle all different aspects of Web3. And I think we're one of very few communities that are kind of approaching things like that and continuing to evolve as the blockchain, as the economy and market changes.
That is super interesting, and I think one thing that I think was one of the biggest thing for the Solana, the hype Solana project, DeGods, is that they had a year that always supported community incentives. So if anyone wanted to, with DeGods or just in general, come out of DeGods and start their own thing, they would always support it, always help them, always do what they could to lift their members and do their own thing. Is this also, it sounds to you, to me, that this is something that you are also as a leader working on?
Yeah, for sure. And like we're always watching what the other top projects do. So it's like some of the things that DeGods have done has been inspiration for what we're doing as well. But we've been trying to foster community independence and decentralized identity from the beginning. And because we noticed that like, if you look at Bored Apes or SMB, for example, it's like, especially during the bull run, just having one of those PFPs was such like a powerful thing. And like sometimes it was bad, but like, we wanted to make it so that if somebody has an 8 PFP, it means something. And we think like there's going to be less and less new PFP projects over time because a lot of people have already found their community. So it's going to be, you can't just keep making them. So I think years from now, regardless of what we're doing as founders and like whatever value we're adding to the project as founders, every individual can create their own identity and the project on their own. So if we're focused on a certain landmark or we're focused on a certain thing, the project can continue to go and continue to grow no matter what's going on.
So, what is your, I guess, your future goals? Are you gonna stay on Cardano? And I guess kind of tailing off that, I mean, with everything going block or cross chain, and if so or if not, what's like the, I don't know, the sixth, the year goals? I mean, how far out have you guys planned?
Like we planned far out, but not too far out at the same time. Things change, so we don't want to keep things locked in place. But we have 11 landmarks that we're working on. We're gonna reveal those one at a time. So we haven't planned a future like much beyond that because we want to get those done. But long term, I mean, we've been making a lot of cross chain connections, and I think as the next bull run approaches, there's going to be a lot more integration between chains. So we are ready for that, and we have kind of different internally. We have like several different roadmaps, and we kind of are going to choose which route to go down depending kind of how the market evolves.
So for your guys' future choices, is it you and the other founders, or is it more like a DAO within each family that you were talking about of what you guys put forward? How does that work?
So it's two separate things. So there's 3 founders, and like we have our own team, and we kind of operate on our own. So we do our own roadmap, and the DAO kind of does their own thing. So the project can go in different ways at the same time.
You got a question, my man?
Yeah. Hey. Good afternoon. My name is John. Pleasure to meet with you, bro. But my question is, could you elaborate a bit more on your multiple roadmaps? That's the first time I've ever heard that. As you guys have 3 different teams, like, is there like, let's say 6 months from now, are you saying like, hey, based off the progression and milestones accomplished within those 6 months will be your future roadmap? Or is it like, hey, here's our most likely course of action, here's our most unlikely course of action, just depending on how the next month or two goes within those 6 months? Like, I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I mean, that's like completely internal. Like, so we don't like share multiple roadmaps with the community, or else that'd be confusing. Um, Kind of, we have a couple predictions. Like this, the three of us are big. We're big like crypto traders, like in general, and like we're big on new innovations and all that stuff. So we're always keeping track of what's going on. So we kind of have a couple different ideas of how the market is going to evolve when it comes to NFTs, DeFi, and a few other industries. But depending on kind of what wins out, we're going to take a different route when it comes to the schedule of release of our landmarks, or even what kind of landmarks we're going to be doing.
Okay, cool. One last follow-up question is, what's the end state here? Just continue being the best project on Cardano? Is your end state to be, hey, project to brand to company? Is your end state to be like the gateway to onboard as many people to Cardano by being the lead project? Like, what's your vision?
Our vision is for Ape Society to be one of the biggest Web3 brands that there is. And I think that's a little bit different than some of the other big NFT projects, because a lot of them are trying to bring in the mainstream, or kind of bring in just like everyday users. For example, like Bored Apes is doing like Other Side, and I guess that won't be a success unless, person number 5,000 is like everybody's using it, even if they aren't really involved in crypto. But we're trying to focus solely on people that are in crypto and are focused on crypto, and we want to be one of the biggest brands when it comes to that.
Cool. TK, do you mind if I get one more question?
Oh, go ahead, brother. All day.
Far out. So, what's your long-term utility for the project? And also, too, on the topic of utility, what is the common theme for utility on Cardano in general? Because to be honest with you, my friend down there, Andre, he's been trying to get me to ape into Cardano for a while now, but I don't know enough about it. In your own words, what would you answer?
The utility on Cardano, you said, like the general.
Yes, the general consensus for what the utility looks like in your ecosystem, as well as what's your utility.
General consensus, I don't think it's too different than other chains. I mean, you have projects doing staking, you have projects doing like different B2B type services and stuff like that. For us, our utility, I mean, we have the society token, and then we're going to have our various landmarks that I think by the time that we're done with a few of them, basically almost everybody on Cardano is going to be using. So I think, we're going to have a majority of the ecosystem involved within our project. So
Super impressive. I love the sound of that. That's awesome, man.
Thank you.
I don't know. With Cardano, is it Rust, Solidity? What is the language that Cardano speaks?
The language is Haskell, and I think that's been a little bit of a roadblock for some people, because it's not an easy language. But there's a lot of new tools coming out, and there's a lot of ways to interact without knowing Haskell as well.
Can you elaborate a little bit more of what's made Haskell a little different than, say, Rust or Solidity?
Just like the way that the programming language is, there's not a ton of educational resources on it. It's not necessarily harder. It's just like there isn't as many developers in the first place. So it's like there's not as much educational material. There's not as many like, okay, this is how you build that. This is how you build that. But I think that's slowly changing. We just need more documentation, but it's not as scary as people make it out to be.
So if you were a beginning developer, if that was a language to look into, recommend that, because it sounds like they're short-staffed over there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that if you are interested, like you can go down that route, and like our DAO is actually putting out a program for some of our holders to be able to learn that and participate. But if you do go into that and take your time to learn it, there's a lot of financial opportunity there because the demand is high and the supply is low. So just even as a freelancer working on DeFi projects, I've talked to a lot of developers and projects like in doing lending and things like that, you can make a ton of money just working for them.
If someone were to go, like, would you say you're more short of front end or back end developers on Cardano?
Definitely back end, so like smart contracts type stuff and people that are familiar working with like the UTXO model.
Beautiful. So since you guys are kind of the OGs, what's been the biggest change you've seen in the past 10 months for you guys?
Well, I think the irony is that we're not the OGs. So we've been the biggest change over the last 9 months. There's kind of a section of OG projects that have dominated the space and the culture, and we've come in and kind of blown everything up, and it's caused a lot of controversy and conflict. But I think it's been net positive for the space, and we're kind of pushing the ceiling of the space.
Well, that's really an interesting answer, and I love to hear that you may not consider yourself OGs, but I mean, if you like 9 months ago, the world was a different place. And the fact that you guys are still here, not if you're still here, you're clearly kicking ass and aren't still here. I mean, coming from Ethereum and Solana and now looking into Cardano and everything else, you guys are the only ones I see. I'm just being real. So kudos to you guys. You're doing something right.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
I got some questions, more technical questions in my DMs actually. Do we have lots of time? Yeah, we got time. Let's do it. First off, the frames. I think we covered this a little bit. You start with a wooden frame, you add gold, right? And why gold then? You covered this, right?
Why gold? I mean, each frame kind of looks cooler than the previous one, at least in our opinion. But even though the level 0 looks quite classy in my opinion, but yeah, as you go up in frames, your rewards increase. Your reward level increases.
That makes sense. And then we had, I know the meta on Cardano is to drop additions. Do you have any plans on running one yourself?
Additions, Tim?
Yeah, additions.
Oh, like more supply?
I guess so.
Yeah, no, we don't have plans for another drop or any other apes or anything like that at all. So we don't want to dilute the ecosystem. And I think we have 3 solid entries, which is the apes and then the cabins and then the token itself. And you could, get involved in the token for any amount of ADA. So I think we're set there.
Awesome. Cap, the hot dog himself, also have his hand up. What's up, man? Welcome.
Thank you. I'm curious about the art on this project. It's good. The trait choices are fun and interesting. And the question I have is your art in-house, or where did this come from?
So we work with a professional art studio that does illustration, VR, movies. They're kind of an international award-winning agency. So we work closely with them. I have a background in branding and product, and like have worked on a lot of photo types, Vogue type things. So have kind of experience curating things. So yeah, that's kind of how we do the art. We worked on it for several months. It took from August of last year to like December or early January to be finished, and we put a lot of work into that. So we're really proud of it.
So you guys went on sort of a creative director journey with this art company, developing ideas, passing or going different takes on the stuff, the way that a director would with a creative art team for his movie.
Yeah, basically. I mean, I think that the approach we took is probably a little more unorthodox than most, but it's basically like, really outlining kind of what we want, creating inspirations and all of those things, and then just having fun illustrating and coming up with different things.
Well, you nailed it. This is really unique stuff. I really like the way that you guys place them in the paintings and environments. I've never seen anything like that, and it gives a whole layer of vibes that is rare. I can see why this is so great.
Thanks, I appreciate that. I mean, I wish we could keep creating like more apes and more traits, because it's like, for me, that's one of the most fun parts. But hopefully we'll be able to create more opportunities to continue to develop on our art in the future without having to like make more collections or anything like that.
Well, there's always the trade-in. I have the same challenges. I always want to do more, but you can't just do a trillion things, you know, and dilute everybody and piss them off. Well, that's all I got. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Solana collection coming soon, baby.
So I have a question for you. Who was your guys' inspiration to start this project? Like, where did you guys come from? Like, how did you three founders get together and be like, you know what, we're gonna be the top dogs on Cardano?
We met each other on like a crypto trading Discord, and just we kind of formed a smaller group and just kept trading, talking about ideas and things like that. And we noticed that our skill sets kind of made us able to identify a lot of quality projects, both in NFTs and off of NFTs, very early on. Like we were able to decide, like, oh, this project is going to get a lot of traction because of how the art and ecosystem was. So we kind of realized, hey, we could probably do a pretty good job on an NFT project. And we had watched the evolution of, I guess, like the project that gave us the biggest inspiration was probably SMB, and the way that the community kind of rallied around the project and the way the DAO was formed. So we wanted to kind of do that on Cardano, but with some of our own twists. And yeah, that was kind of the start.
Hey, Cardman, how's it going, man? Hey, so I just clicked on the Ape Society page, and the PFP just switched to a black and white. Is that something new? Or I don't know, maybe it just hadn't updated for me for a while.
Well, let me see what you're talking about. 1 second.
Cool. Black and white Ape.
Oh, yeah, that's just one of our concept arts from early on. We have
cool.
that as the PFP there.
Okay. I just have like two things. One, if you were to sell me on it, why should I buy in today? Like, what's the key thing? Why should I buy into the Ape Society?
I think if you want to buy in the Ape Society, I think we're at the beginning of our journey. We have all of our landmarks to release, and I think that those landmarks are going to be something that no NFT project, has done this many different aspects, and especially on an emerging NFT blockchain like Cardano, you're really getting in at the jump. So I think that it's an excellent opportunity to be part of what's the most powerful project on the chain. So I think it's an excellent time to jump in, and then in addition, you can be part of the DAO, which is just incredible.
Cool. And then my second thing is not necessarily a question for you, but kind of like an encouragement to everybody that's in here listening in the spaces today, in the spirit of growth and support. Go ahead and follow the pod and the co-hosts and all the speakers and your neighbors and listeners, so that everybody can have more visibility and awareness of all the things going on. It's always a good thing.
Thank you, Bill. Love it. We got so many apes in there, dude. What a fucking community. I love you guys. Let's go.
Yeah, I do. I really do love the art, and it is amazing. It's a great, like, unique style.
It's just different.
Yo, look at that.
It looks old school. Like,
look at
it's just
Max
different.
Serta
Cool.
down there. Like he's like a robot knight looking thing. I don't know, man. Like, that's crazy.
I found him, and they all rock the banner too. Like,
yeah, that's
strong.
How did you get your community to, like? Is it a call? It's a call, isn't it? It's actually a call.
It's actually a call, isn't it? Nailed it.
Yeah. Like they're so wild. Like they're so different. Some are kind of similar, but like, man.
I want to ask you, Carl,
I love
we got some hands coming in here. Do you are you limited on time?
No, I have all day.
Love it. I love it. Right. I think Cap was first and then Future.
Oh, thanks. I just wanted to shill for you. The question of why you might buy into these guys. I mean, look at this room, man. This is rare. We've got some majors in H-Bar, but I feel like I'm in an Alfred Hitchcock movie surrounded by these monkeys. This is amazing. What in the hell's going on?
It's great.
We had the H-Bar spaces this Wednesday, and we had managed to get the entire H-Bar community in one space. But Cap, you're having some competition from the apes here.
Well, competition for size, I'm sure. I think we're about equal for brain damage. Hello, DJs. I love you, monkeys.
Let's see what Future has to say.
Hey, what's up? Sorry, I might have missed some stuff. I was in and out. That's why it took me so long to request to come up. But I was going to ask a couple questions. One, are you like the guy for, and this is the highest floor price project on Cardano, is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
So are you the guy? You're like the head of the, you like the face of the project and everything. Is that correct?
We have 3 founders. We're all kind of the face in a way.
Okay, I got you. So my question was, have you guys looked into or thought about any kind of trait swapping? Because that's the kind of new thing that has come up in recent. So I was wondering if that was on your radar at all, or if you guys are just leaving it as is.
But I guess the first question is, are Cardano NFTs mutable?
So at the moment, no, they're not. There's a new NFT standard coming out that will allow them to be mutable, but I don't think we're going to switch over to that, and I don't think that we're going to do the trait swapping thing. We thought about it, but I think that we have other things that we want to accomplish. So, and people are really tied to the way their ape looks right now, and I think they probably would use it, but like I think we're good as it stands.
Don't touch
For
that
sure.
art, man. Don't touch that art, bro.
And then, have you guys thought about any possible second gen to grow your community with a floor price so high, or any kind of, not, I guess it wouldn't have to be like second gen, maybe like an alter, possibly something that's in the art style of something that I'm wearing here with these cats, or more cartoonish or anything like that, just because I hear a lot of founders who do want to expand the size of the community because of the outreach, basically, free advertisement. And then when the floor prices get this high, the biggest project on Solana kind of did the same thing with D Gods in a different way. But that's 100 soul less to enter, so it makes it, it definitely could bring on some more.
Did the community? You still can get in the Discord and stuff, and those are around like 800, 700 the floor, something like that. But we don't really intend on doing another ape-related collection or anything like that. Our entry for new people will be the landmarks and the way that they can interact there.
Right on. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
I like how you snuck a quick BVD cat shill in their Future. You're sold on this project.
I didn't even name drop, bro. I just said a cat.
Awesome. I'm curious to the Cardano community in general, or to you, Cardman. What are some other Cardano? We've been talking a lot of apes here. What are some other Cardano NFTs projects you're looking at?
We have a lot of cool ones. One that's doing a recent run up was Block Owls. I think it's some of the coolest art. They have it's 3D, not as in like a 3D avatar, but like these little owls that are like jumping around in this cage. You kind of have to check it out to understand, but it's really cool looking. Another one of our big projects is Clay Nation, and I think they have a unique take. People have different opinions on the art, but like they made all their art out of clay, and they're partnering with Snoop Dogg and Champ Medici, who's Snoop Dogg's son, and they're working on a lot of things in the music industry. They're creating their metaverse. I think that's pretty cool. Another community that a lot of people that have come over is Dirt Birds, and they have a really strong community, great memes, and their builders are pretty impressive in terms of their site and their token staking program, and they kind of have a gamified program between like a couple collections that they have, which is cool. Yeah, and then there's also Mutants, which is I think a little bit like the Blocksmith of, or not necessarily Blocksmith, but like they're just like a big, kind of like the what's it called, FFF, the famous foxes of the Cardano space, and they have like a staking platform that other people can use. They have the raffles and stuff like that. So I think that's a familiar thing there, and stuff like that is always safe because they're always in the keep building. But yeah, that's just a few of them.
Excuse me, which mutants was that?
It's just called Mutants.
Oh.
But they have a few collections. There's like mutant mice. There's mutant crocs, mutant toads.
Okay.
I see them now. Cool. Sounds like you're familiar with the Solana space as well. Do you still buy any, or do you check Solana? You go on Medikit and buy something.
Yeah. We're familiar with all the spaces, and I think that's how we kind of stay ahead in some ways, or try to get ahead, is to be, know what's going on. And I own on Solana. I'm part of the Gecko squad, Galactic Geckos. I talk to Pace sometimes, who's the founder there. I own Famous Foxes. I own DGOS and Utes, and a few other stuff on there. So.
All right, so stacked on Solana as well. I love it. I don't know if we have a gecko in our community called GDR. He's probably super happy right now. I don't know if he's here. I don't think he is. Cool. So, as a TK, do you have a question first?
When it comes to the actual Cardano blockchain, what chain would you compare it closest to, like language wise, like Solana, ETH, HBAR, anything when it comes to working on the actual chain?
Working on the chain. I think it's kind of its own thing, which has been a little bit of a challenge, but it's also its strength. So, but I guess the closest thing is Ethereum in terms of the structure. It's completely different because UTXO versus a but in terms of development experience, it's closest to Ethereum that I know of course.
Right. Awesome. So for us Solana DJs that want to get started on Cardano and get some C NFTs, I guess the summary would be, you told us Eternal. What was the other wallet?
We have Eternal, we have Typhon, and then I guess a lot of people use Nami, although that's been causing some issues recently. There's also a new one coming out next month from the founders of Cardano, I guess you could say, called Lace, which people are excited for.
Right, so any of these wallets, I go on jpg.store. We also have Flipper coming soon that you were excited about. Let's see what they can deliver, and then go buy some NFTs. Awesome. And I guess ADA is on all exchanges. I have ADA myself, but on my ledger, gonna see if we can turn it into some NFTs. Have you been in the Aptos? You said you're very eyeing on other exchanges as well. Have you been in the Aptos hype?
I have an Aptos wallet, and I go make everything. I haven't really minted anything, but I've played with the dexes on there. It's pretty fast. I don't know exactly why yet you would use Aptos over Solana, if that's the kind of experience you're looking for, but I'm keeping it on.
Quite simply, I think Move is way easier than Rust.
It is, yeah. That is a good point. That is a good point. I've been playing with it a little bit. So we'll see how it develops. I think it has to get past this degen phase, and if it does, I think it has potential.
So for anyone that is listening or catches this on a podcast that wants to build a project on Cardano, what would be your number one selling point or advice, or hey, we learned this hard, don't do this shit, bro?
I think the biggest thing is you got to take advantage of the strength of the Cardano community. You can't just launch a project on your own, or just try to do some quick degen stuff. You really have to appeal to people and get them involved in building. And I think what's strong about the Cardano community is that they want to actually participate in the projects. They want to help grow it. They don't want to just buy something and flip it for $2 a day later. So take your time, figure out how you can have your community involved in what you're doing. How can you have the community strengthen your value proposition, and go from there? Don't just make some random fiber art nonsense and think it's going to go anywhere.
I guess with not having as much volume as other blockchains, I guess the degen aspect is it not fully there? Is there a little bit of degen action going on over there? How's that lifestyle?
We still have our degens. I'm just saying, when there's this duck project that like popped off recently, but like we still have like our fair share of degen stuff, just like on any other chains. But if you're trying to make like a serious project that's gonna last, you have to do something unique and you have to involve the community.
Let's see, TK, are you gonna buy any NFTs today?
Oh man, you know I'm gonna be someone's exit liquidator there. Like you already know that shit's happening, man. The amount of times we posted spaces, and I guarantee I bought someone from the audience's NFTs. You know, we'll see. Let me steal one of your guys' PFPs. Let me see it on the floor. You know, I ain't opposed.
I want to see you rock a PFP here next week. Oh, one thing I forgot to ask you, Cardman. I wanted to ask you about the entire like royalty situation happening on, since you are eyeing all the chains and awake. Do you think this is coming to Cardano as well? What's your like general take on this?
Well, my take, a couple of things. First, Cardano had a royalty-free marketplace in last year, and it was the primary marketplace. Another marketplace came honoring royalties and put it out of business for honoring royalties. So I think it's a big part of the Cardano community. Like the people want to actually support the creators and understand that that's like if you don't do that, the floor is going to tank. Like you're not going to be getting new projects. Just like what's happening on Solana, like. It was obvious that if the main marketplace takes royalties away, everything's going to go downhill. So if OpenSea does that, you know, I would advise you sell your ETH NFTs and buy back lower. But I don't think it's going to happen. I actually don't think it's going to happen.
It's interesting. You guys have already gone through that. How long did that wave last? Since the community said no, we want to pay creators.
I don't remember exactly how long it lasted. It was like as soon as some good markets came along and was like had a better UI and stuff like that. But as soon as that was available, it was over. But like I don't think that people want that. I think they understand the consequences, and I think people are in the misinterpretation with the Magic Eden situation that that's what the community wanted. But if you look at the numbers closely, and for some reason they don't present these numbers, I think they were just trying to strangle Yaw and the other marketplaces. They didn't actually lose much revenue from the marketplace, from the zero royalty situation. They lost market share, but that's only because people who trade a lot were trading a lot on the zero fees, like not just watch trading, but also trading for small amounts. And plus, there were a few collection launches on Hate Swap or like collections that focused on the zero royalties, which pumped the numbers. But in general, if you look at how much money Magic Eden was making, it didn't decrease that much. And it's a bear market, so I don't know how much they're expecting to make on a daily basis. They would have been better off trying to promote the project they do have. But I can go on a huge tangent there, but I don't think that was a business decision that made a whole lot of sense other than trying to kill Yaw and others like on purpose.
So since you mentioned Hate Swap, is there anything like that on Cardano?
Not at the moment, no.
Interesting. Bill, did you hear that?
Let's see. Bill or HE was first.
Yeah, I heard that. So no AMMs. Any like loan providers?
Any what?
NFT loan? Any like
NFT
Sharkify? Loans, like quick loans?
Oh yeah, there's Lending Pond, which does NFT loans. We don't have anything like Sharky at the moment. I don't know if that'll come or not, but Lending Pond is a pretty big spot. Apes do most of the volume there, but yeah.
Okay.
Some opportunities for the builders.
Right. That's what I'm hearing. Like, interesting.
Interesting. Thank you, Cardman. We are shortly about to wrap this up and take Friday. I'm gonna go have a beer, and all of you other guys can have a water, or you weed boys can have a smoke. But I want to know from everyone here, how many are we? We are what? 57 people. Do anyone has any last questions? Anything you want to discuss? Cardman is with us. We'll see if he had a good experience. Maybe he want to come back, but who knows? Maybe he was bored to hell from this thing.
It seems like he's got his community. Like this community's here. Like none of you guys got questions. Want to come up? Be like, hey, my man, or
thank you or
No,
anything. I mean,
this is a cult, dude. They beat to the sound of Cardman's drum. They are in tune, in sync. Left foot, right foot, left foot. They know what's going on. I like it.
let's see.
I mean, if the community comes up, they're going to ask me for alpha, which I'm not going to give them. So I think that's why they're they're not gonna request. But we
Let's
talk
see.
all
I
the
think
time.
Cap, did you have anything?
Yeah, I gotta go in just a second. I got a weird request. I'm curious about how you guys operate, and I gotta hang up any second now. The truck's driving up with the guy I gotta meet. The way that I learn about other communities, I watch them on scale. So if a few of you apes could please hit me on Twitter so I can follow you back, so I can watch your action, I would really appreciate that. And there's a particular ape. He moved. I was gonna shout him out because his setup was beautiful, but he had a ape in the woods, in the snow, smoking a cigar. If I'm missing you, man, that's the best profile setup I've seen in a while. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it if you do.
Thank you, Cap. Appreciate you. We're gonna have H Bar next Friday, right? We're gonna have interview Cap and a few other H Bar guys. See, this community was absolutely crazy last time. Let's see if they pull up in the same size this time. If we don't have any more questions, I want to give the mic to you, Cardman, and give us something. We got the summarizer here, how to get started on Cardano. But for anyone listening right here, right now, or listening to this in the recording, anything you want to share with them?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people have heard different things about Cardano, but I think you should just give it a chance. Try it out. I think you'll like it more than you think. If you need anything, feel free to DM me or probably a lot of our community members. Jump in our Discord, even if you're not looking for an ape. If you just have any questions, there's like 100 messages a minute there. So just like go ask and see what's going on, and the community will help you like beyond what you can believe. Like we really support each other, and come experience that, come feel that, and yeah, hopefully you give it a shot.
Just checking the activity in this Discord. Do you have a holder chat, or is the general chat like the chat?
The general chat is the main chat. We also have a DAO chat that like more serious planning goes on. We've averaged 3 messages a minute in that main chat for 9 months, so it's pretty intense.
It is for sure. Cool. Yeah, super happy to have you on, Cardman, and all of the apes joining us, and all the pod people and everyone who's here for the first time. Super appreciated. This has been the last pod of this week. We have officially broken this barrier that has sat between Solana and the Cardano community. We took a sledgehammer and just broke it down live with Cardman here. That's been amazing. If you missed anything, there is a lot of, in the beginning, we started talking a lot of general, like CNFTs, super interesting. Then we dive into Ape Society, and then we went on a rant about everything in the last section. It's been amazing, as always. If you missed something, just listen to the recording. Also,
one more thing real quick, Cardman, you think you'd be up for coming back in like 60, 90 days just to see where things are at with the Ape Society?
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool, man. Great.
That would be really
Thanks.
fun.
I love cross-chain stuff, so like it's great exchange of ideas and stuff like that. So invite me anytime.
Let's see where the apes is at and where the pod is at as well. Exciting. I'm going to add it to the schedule right now, so I'm going to contact you 60 days. Awesome. Thanks, everyone, so much for coming on this lovely Friday, taking your time this Friday evening or afternoon, wherever you're at. Let's have a great weekend. We've had a cross-chain week. So we had, first off, I think in the last, week, we have covered Aptos, HBAR, ETH, Solana, and now Cardano, which is pretty amazing. So we have them all. We have them all covered, and this has, in my opinion, been the best week yet. I'm sure of it. It has been so insightful. We've learned so much. So thanks everyone for coming on. Make sure if you like to listen to us speak and talk to projects, feel free to follow the pod. Make sure you follow Cardman and the Ape Society. Sounds like they got some good stuff going. The biggest project on ADA.
Oh, and if anyone here would like a project for us to talk to and you get them on a recording, we would love to grab any other projects that you guys know on Cardano, HBAR, I mean, you name it. We have reached out to hit every blockchain because that's what everybody wants and that's what everyone's doing. So if you've got that project that wants to come on, we are message Adam, myself, Peter, Odie, the pod account, any of us, and we will try to make that happen.
I forgot to say, the most important thing of the night, make sure you follow all your neighbors in this space. Give each other a follow. If you don't follow back, you're not going to make it. That's the rule. We're also sponsored by Hyperlaunch. Sorry, did someone say something?
I was just going to say, not going to make it. You're good, bro.
I think so.
And to hell with Alex Becker.
All right, thank you for that, for sure. Awesome. We're also sponsored by Hyperlaunch Live, which is building a permissionless launchpad where you can launch your NFT collection without writing a single line of code. Jack is not with us right now, but he is coming to some other chains as well, currently on Solana. So you'll probably see it soon. You get your customized mint and pay, and it's going to be later this weekend. Yes, fully automated. So you can just go upload your stuff and have it ready for launch. Don't have to speak to anyone. What song should we do today? It's Friday. We have a couple of Friday songs. The intro song was good. Should we pump it up out of here?
That would be Rebecca Black.
That'd be Rebecca Black.
Ooh.
That or pump it up, man. It's up to you, Adam.
We're gonna pump it up out of here.
Pump it up.
See if Rebecca Black, because I haven't talked to her in since last Friday, so I don't know if she's still with me. But I'm gonna see if Rebecca Black is live as well. But guys, thank you so much. Have a great weekend. See you all on Monday. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Appreciate you guys. Have an amazing week.
Wait, this is the wrong song. You to pump it up, don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up, you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know, pump it up. Don't you pump it up? You got to pump it up. Don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up. Wait, who's this? Oh, she's here.
My face right now is the same as my BFE right now.
Let's go.